Today we're making green vegetable curry, and this is a dish that we ate at a place called the Queen's Vault in Cardiff, Wales. When we came back from that trip, we started to recreate a whole bunch of the meals that we experienced in Wales and England, and there's not a single recipe that we've made more times than this green vegetable curry. So there's two parts to this. The first part is to make a curry paste, and then the second part will be to make the actual curry meal itself. Now, you can buy curry paste at the store, and we've tried that, but we haven't been able to land on a meal that tasted like what we experienced in Wales unless we made our own curry paste. So that's what we're going to do first. Super simple. We're going to take one onion. In the recipe that we have on the website, it calls for about 6 green chili peppers, but we sometimes use what we have, so I've got a whole bunch of red chili peppers. So we're going to chop these up, seed them. That's about 6 red peppers. About a thumb-sized piece of ginger. We'll peel that, throw that in the food processor. You're going to want 1 bunch of cilantro, and then 2 tablespoons of oil. All of that goes in the food processor. You make it go until it's a nice paste, and then you've got a curry paste that'll last you to make this meal for probably about 3 different times. So let's put everything together. All right, and now everything goes in the food processor. 1 onion, 6 chili peppers, a bunch of cilantro. I've peeled the ginger, chopped it up a little bit, throw that in there. And then the last thing is 2 tablespoons of oil. All right, and with that, we put the lid on, and we're gonna let this go for a minute or so until it's pasty. All right, and then when it's all done, looks like that. And as we make one of these curry dishes, we'll end up using 6 tablespoons of the curry paste. This makes quite a bit more, so what we're not going to use today we'll put into a container, and then we can use that throughout the week as we make more of the curry. Right, when we chop up the zucchini, usually keep them about 3/4 of an inch or so in diameter, and then I like to make them bite size, so either quarter, or depending if the pieces are going to be larger, kind of like this one, then I'll do it in 1/8. And then we just make these little triangles, and we'll cut up our zucchini just like that. All right, and then for the ingredients, it's pretty simple. We're gonna take 1 onion, we've got that finely chopped, a couple of cloves of garlic, also finely chopped. Okay, then we're gonna put a spice mixture together. So we're gonna have paprika, cumin, thyme, a 1/2 teaspoon of each of those, some cayenne pepper, we'll do a 1/4 teaspoon of that, and then a teaspoon of salt. What else goes in here? We use as the main base for this dish zucchini, so I take about 500 grams of zucchini. That's roughly about 2 to 3 medium-sized zucchinis. So those are chopped up. This is not in the recipe that's on our website, but I also like to, recently I'm adding some garbanzo beans, so we'll drain this, add that in there. We have the curry paste that I just made earlier. 1 cup of broth. You gotta have your coconut milk, so we're gonna have a can of that. We're using a reduced fat version tonight. And then some oil for cooking. And at the very, very end, and we'll talk about this when we get there, but we're gonna throw in 1/2 cup of frozen peas, and they're gonna squeeze in some lime juice and that's it. It's pretty simple. One of the nice things about this recipe is it's flexible. You can modify it for your own taste. And the main reason that we do this as often as we do is in the garden we're growing zucchini, and those start coming up for us around June, and they can be producing until just about November. So, and if you've grown zucchini, you know, with just a few plants, it's going to produce them faster than you can eat them. So this is one meal that we like that keeps us able to make our way through the zucchini. So we use zucchini as a base. Often, as I mentioned, sometimes we'll add some additional things. We'll add garbanzos today. Sometimes we add mushrooms. Later in the season, when the zucchinis are done, but we have pumpkin, we'll substitute pumpkin or maybe sometimes some other squash for zucchini. So pretty flexible recipe that you can mix and match some ingredients. And then you can also play with the spice amounts, dial it in to what works for you. If you want it a little hotter, when you make the curry paste, you can add some more hot peppers into that. If you want it less hot, either fewer peppers into the curry paste or tune it back on some of the spices that go into the dish. Next, we're going to put this together. Mixture.
All right, Art has made a fine feast for us tonight, and now we're gonna go ahead and serve it. We are using rice tonight. We use a brown rice. This is a short grain, but you can use basmati or anything else that works for you. Sometimes we use noodles. You can use ramen noodles, or I've just used spaghetti noodles, and it's worked fine. Or you can do large chips, or they're not French fries, they're like English chips. You can eat that in tandem with the curry, which always looks beautiful. So there's several ways that you can serve it, depending on what mood you're in.
If you've got zucchini coming up in your garden and you've got more of it coming up than you know what to do with, this is a great way to go through it. We love this curry dish, and again, it reminds us of our time in Cardiff, Queen's Vault. The recipe may not have been 100% exactly like this, but I think we dialed it in fairly close. We made this, was one of the first things we made when we came back, and it just brought back the memory of just the way that dish tasted at the pub in Cardiff. So, bon appetit.